When a little kid dreams of becoming a wrestler, their goal 99% of the time is to become a world champion. Anyone wants to be on top of any dream they have. Of course, because of, logic. Not everyone can be a world champion. That doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that you're not at the level of the world champion. Or this old man just doesn't think that you look enough like Hogan. But seriously though, not everyone in wrestling needs to be on the top. Just look at legendary tag teams. There are plenty of Hall of Fame teams where either one or both were never world champion. The Wild Samoans, for example, had an amazing run racking up 3 tag team championships. But in the WWE, neither Alpha nor Sika have ever been at the top of the mountain. I can imagine that's because they never wanted to be. I mean, look at them. Either one of them could have been world champions for over 1,000 days if they wanted to be. The Road Warriors are another example of a legendary tag team that neither one of the members became world champion. Maybe they were too busy literally winning any set of tag team championships that were ever invented. If you or your friend ever made cardboard championships as kids, I bet Harker Animal broke into your house and pinned you for them. New Age Outlaws, Marty Jannetty from the Rockers, Festus and Jesse. Neither? That's a damn shame. So now we know how to become a world champion. Just never be in a team. Wrong. Even when wrestlers fly solo, they never hit the heights of others. Now let's just look at someone like Zack Ryder. This man could have been one of the best underdog stories back in 2011. He got over by himself with his YouTube show. Nerd. He was given the US Championship, but not too long after that he was publicly embarrassed. Lex Luger, on the other hand, is a strange case. In WCW, he's a multiple-time world champion, but in the WWF, he never got to that level. He was even given a crowning celebration whenever he beat the WWF champion by countout, which means he wasn't champion. Huh. Now for the reason this video even exists. Razor Ramon was never WWF champion. Scott Hall was never WCW champion. Let that sink in. One of the best to ever do it wasn't a champion in either major promotion he was a main event player in. His friends were all champions, but he never was. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. This crazy phenomenon I call almost there-itis is being so close to the world championship, but never quite getting there. Samoa Joe, Owen Hart, the aforementioned Zack Ryder, and many more had the entire package to become world champion at one time or another, but was never given the chance. We got Jinder Mahal as champion though, so I guess a win's a win. Anything can happen in the WWF, even Daniel Bryan becoming world champion. Just gotta bear with the constant months of pushing Daniel Bryan down, hoping that the fans would forget. But yay! A clear example of what WWE did like in a champion finally getting there. But we also got that with Kofi Kingston. No one thought almost a decade since his initial scrap push that he'd win the big one, but at WrestleMania, he did. And one of the biggest underdogs, Jinder Mahal, over at AEW, even though their history has been minute compared to the big WWE, they have a few themselves too. The biggest head scratcher for me is the current WWE champion Cody Rhodes. Near the launch of AEW, Cody Rhodes lost the match to the then champion that barred him from ever challenging for the world championship again. Either this was preventing a Cody made the company to be the face that would have definitely followed his title win, or is a genuine disinterest from the American roller coaster to be the top guy. Or NXT Black and Gold, which yes, I am considering separate from WWE because it was so different. Papa H, before coming the Game Master in the weirdest games of Dungeons and Dragons ever played, ran his own mini promotion of part homegrown talent, part indie darlings, which ran deep, so it was difficult to give everyone their spotlight. So stars like Velveteen Dream, Kyle O'Reilly, and many more never became the face of the brand. But I think some of those people are doing perfectly fine though. But obviously you don't need to be world champion to have a Hall of Fame worthy career. Just ask Coco Beware. If everyone was world champion, then no one would be world champion. There needs to be jobbers, mid-carders, and everything in between. The status of being world champion is always the dream of any inspiring wrestler. But remember, at the end of the day, someone else is putting the show together. And your favorite probably would have lost to Hogan in the 80s instead of being champion anyway. I don't know!